Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Every week, we take a close look at what's happening in the Villages real estate market. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this channel if you want to be kept up to date on what's happening in this market. And not only do we take a look at how many listings there are, price per square foot, things of that sort, but we also provide some kind of historical context over the last year and a half or so as to what the listing price per square foot has been for all properties, how quickly they're selling, and things of that sort. If anybody has any suggestions as to data points that might be illuminating, please reach out to me. I will be happy to consider them. And if they provide data that I think is interesting to the majority of the viewers, I will include it. Couple of things to note. First, make sure that you check the date on today's show. We produce this every Monday. Make sure you check the date to ensure you're getting the most recent information. Also, we have a second show during the week on a topic of interest to us at the time. Hopefully, you'll find it informative as well. The second thing I would make note of is that all of this information is drawn from the multiple listing service, the MLS. It does not include any information from the village's own internal listing service, the VLS. For that reason, if you are looking to buy a home in the villages, you really should employ two agents, one who will show you VLS properties and the other for MLS properties. Neither agent will be able to show you properties on the other listing service. One more point I'd like to make. I specialize in data analysis and I'm a realtor. So if you're interested in buying a home in the villages and you're trying to determine a good price for the type of home you're interested in and the area you're wanting to be located in, or you're trying to sell your home and you're trying to maximize your return in a reasonable period of time, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. So let's get started and take a look at what's happening this week. As always, we start with this chart, which represents the yield on the 10-year government bond. This bond is the interest rate that most closely tracks the mortgage market, and this chart is showing you the yield on the bond, not the price. Therefore, as the yield's going up, the price is going down. We are at the high end of the range. As a matter of fact, we are back to yields on the 10-year bond that we haven't seen in 20 years or so. Similarly, we're seeing mortgage rates at 8%, and it's anybody's guess whether we will see rates at 6% before we see rates at 10%. You can make your own determination looking at this chart, but for the short term, it certainly looks as if rates are heading higher. Now we'll take a look at what's happening in the villages itself. We start, as always, with taking a look at how many listings there are. This week, 295 listings, down by one from the 296 of last week, and still almost 50% higher than the 218 listings that we had for the same week last year. Listings range in price from $166,250 to just under $2.7 million. Here we look at the median listing price per square foot, and I've smoothed the data to show you a 4-week average to see if there are any trends apparent. Looking at this, it certainly seems as if the listing price per square foot has been holding steady at just around $260 a square foot since about May of this year. 259.78 the median listing price per square foot this week compared to 259.83 last week and compared to 270.05 for the same week last year. Here we can take a look at all of the listings broken down by price segment and broken down by week, so you can get some idea as to how many properties are in each price segment every week. For the most recent 7-day period, the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, last week saw 283 listings. Here we try to get some sense as to how active the market is. This is the median time on the market for all listings. The figures I'm going to give you are the actual numbers for the week, whereas this graph is showing you a smooth 4-week average. Last week, 47 days on the market, the median time for all listings, 47 days, the same number the previous week. A year ago, the same week, that time was 41 days. And our last look at listings, this is the percentage of all listings that have been on the market for 100 days or longer. This week, 74 out of the 295 total listings meet that criteria, which is 25%, slightly improved from the 26% of all listings last week. This is an interesting graph. The blue line shows you the number of new listings every week, and the gray line, the number of homes that went pending every week. Last week, 36 new listings compared to 38 the week before, and compared to 24 new listings the same week last year. Homes that went pending numbered 30 compared to 25 the week before, and this compares to only 12 for the same week a year ago. Looking at this graph, it is interesting to note that new listings have been trending higher since the middle of July, at the same time that the number of homes going pending has been falling. Here's a closer look at the new listings, once again broken down by price segment and by week. And you can see that in the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, this last week saw 25 new listings. Now we'll take a closer look at the homes that went pending last week. Here we're looking at the median price per square foot for the homes that went pending in each 7-day period. This graph is showing you the 4-week average, whereas the numbers I'm giving you are the actual data points. Last week saw the median price on the homes that went pending down from $260, $295 the previous week to under $240 a square foot for the homes that went pending last week. And this compares to $265.61 for the same week a year ago. It's interesting to note that with this print of $239.74, this is only the second time this year that we've seen the median price per square foot on pending home sales under $240. Here we continue looking at the pending home sales. Once again, these are homes that went pending over the last 7 days, and the median time on the market for those homes was 38 days compared to 40 days the previous week and compared to 50 days the same week last year. Once again, we're moving to these 4-week average graphs to smooth the data. Another look at the pending home sales. This looks at what the median price change was from the original listing price. This week, the homes that went pending last week saw a median price reduction of 6.33% compared to 6.35%. This is from the original listing price in both cases. And this compares to a reduction of 5.35% that was in effect for the same week last year. Now we'll turn our attention to the number of homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days. Last week saw 41 homes close compared to 29 the week before, and this compares to only 25 for the same week a year ago. Once again, this graph is showing you a 4-week average to smooth the data. Homes that sold ranged in price from $201,500 to $2.2 million. Here's an in-depth look at the homes that sold and closed last week, broken down once again by price segment and by week. You can see that last week in the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, 24 homes closed. Here we look at the price per square foot that was realized on the homes that closed last week. The median was $247 a foot compared to a median of $246 a foot the week before, and this compares to a median price per square foot of $264 for the homes that closed the same week a year ago. This shows us how long homes that sold and closed last week were on the market. They were on the market a median 26 days compared to 25 days the week before, about the same as the 27 days that it took for homes to close last year. Here we continue something that we started last week, which is to take a look at the sales and get some idea as to what percentage are cash and how the sales are financed. On this graph, the brown line at the top is the total number of sales. I only have monthly data up until last week when we started accumulating this data. Will be weekly going forward. The blue line represents the number of sales that were for cash, and the orange line represents those that had a conventional mortgage. Here's another look at the same data. We're trying to get some idea as to what percentage of all buyers are cash buyers. And you can see on the graph, which is not smooth, that we're hovering right around 65% of all sales being consummated for cash. This is our last look at the homes that sold and closed last week. We're looking to see how many of them were taken off the market within 7 days of being listed. 11 of the 41 homes that closed last week were, which is 27% compared to 28% the week before. Once again, we turn our attention to all listings, and here we're looking at what percentage of listings have reduced their asking price from the original listing price. This week, 51.19% of all listings have reduced their asking price compared to 53% last week. And this is an improvement from the 55% that was in effect for the same week last year. And our last data point is to look at what the actual decrease was. And currently, all listings in the villages have a median decrease of 4.25 from the original asking price. Last week, it was a 4.49% reduction. And we're about the same as we were same week last year when all listings had a median decrease of 4.55%. So that concludes this week's look at the village's real estate market. I hope you found it informative. If there are any data points or any data analysis you'd like to see performed that you think would be interesting to subscribers of this channel, please reach out to me either in the comments here or through my email, DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. I'll be happy to entertain any suggestions you have. If you're looking to buy a home in the villages and you're trying to determine what a good price would be for the area you're looking at or the size home or compared to recent transactions, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to advise you or help you in any way I can. Similarly, if you're considering selling your house or you're just curious as to what the market value might be, please reach out to me, DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions, real estate related or about life in the villages itself. Hope to hear from you. Take care.